Welcome once again. In today's lecture, we will learn some legal concepts. So, we will start with the term person. In our day-to-day life, we regularly use word person. He is a good person, he is a bad person, she is a good person. But there is a particular meaning attributed to the term person. So, person means any entity or any being. He may be human being or not, but any being who is capable of having rights and duties. So, person means any entity or any being who is capable of having rights and duties. Grace define person as any entity to whom the law attributes rights and duties. Salmon defined person in some different way. Salmon stated that a person is any being to whom law regards capable of having rights and duties. So, any being means human being or not, but having capacity to rights and duties. Persons are of two kinds, natural person and legal person. Human beings are natural persons, but some legal persons are also existed. Legal person means a person created by act of a law. We can say artificial person to also the legal persons. It means that the person created by act of a law. Natural persons are the human beings, but legal persons are those persons or those entity or those beings to whom the law attributes legal rights and duties. These legal persons may or may not be human beings, but also they have certain rights and certain duties. These legal persons, sometimes not a human being, but also have a right and having certain duties. Corporations, companies, trusts are some of the example of the term legal person. Corporations, companies and trusts are legal person, means created by a fiction of a law. Law attributes them certain rights and duties. These legal persons can purchase a property, enjoy that property and also sell this property. These legal persons can file a suit against human beings or against some entities which are created by the law. In the same way, some legal persons or a natural person can file a case against this legal or artificial person. So, the term person can be defined as any entity or any being. He may or may not be human being, but is capable of having rights and duties. So, term person can be explained as a अस्तित्व in Marathi. अस्तित्व ज्याला कायदा हक्क आणि कर्तव्य बहाल करतो. मग हे अस्तित्व मनुष्य प्राणी असेल किंवा इतर कायद्याने निर्माण केलेलं अस्तित्व देखील असू शकतं. तर कायद्याने निर्माण केलेलं अस्तित्व किंवा कायद्याने निर्माण केलेले जे व्यक्तित्व आहे, तर त्याचं जर उदाहरण घ्यायचं झालं तर जे निगम आहेत, कंपन्या आहेत, त्याचबरोबर विविध ज्या धर्मादाय संस्था आहेत, तर ह्यांना कायदेशीर व्यक्ती असं म्हटलेलं आहे. तर व्यक्ती ह्या दोन प्रकारच्या असतात. एक आहे नैसर्गिक व्यक्ती, ज्याच्यामध्ये आपण मनुष्य प्राण्यांचा समावेश करू शकतो, आणि दुसरी आहे कायदेशीर व्यक्ती, ज्याचा निर्मिती ही कायद्याच्या प्रक्रियेद्वारे झालेली आहे. त्याचंच उदाहरण म्हणजे कंपन्या, निगम आणि ट्रस्ट. तर अशा पद्धतीने असं कोणतंही व्यक्तित्व, असं कोणतंही अस्तित्व ज्याला कायदा हक्क आणि कर्तव्य बहाल करतो, तर त्याला आपण व्यक्तित्व असं म्हणू शकतो. देन वी विल कम टू अनदर इम्पॉर्टंट लीगल कन्सेप्ट इज अ लीगल heirs. Legal heirs. The spelling of heirs is heirs. But the pronunciation of these heirs is heirs, just like air, heirs. In this word, h is a silent. So you have to pronounce this word in a proper way. Legal heirs, not legal heirs. Okay? So legal heirs are the person who are a close relative of the deceased person. Deceased person means the person who is died or whose death is occurred. So legal heirs are the person who are the close relative of the deceased person and who are entitled to having a share in a property of the deceased person. If that person dies intestate means without making a will. Wills means we can say will means mrutyupatra. If any person dies intestate, his legal heirs are entitled to receive his shares in his property. The law of a succession is governed in India by their personal laws. It means that if Hindu dies intestate, it means that if any particular Hindu man dies without making any will, then his property shared in his heirs as per the Hindu Succession Act. In the same way, if a Muslim person dies intestate, then his property will be devolved on his legal heirs as per the personal law. In the same way, the Christian and Parsi legal heirs are also capable to having a share in a property of a deceased person as per their personal laws. So legal heirs can be defined as a close relative of a deceased person who having a right or who are having interest in the property of a deceased person because they are a close relatives, because they are a blood relatives of that particular deceased person. Deceased means who is a died person. So as per the Hindu law, there are 4 classes of a person, and these 4 classes signifies the priority. Some person are in a first class, second, third and fourth. It means that the person in a first class have a prior right over the property of a deceased person as compared to the person who are in a second class. So as per the Hindu law, the person in a first class, then legal heirs in a first class, then second class, then cognates and agnates. Cognates means a close relatives or a paternal relative, and agnates means the blood relation. So in the same way, there is a provision for the distribution of a property of the deceased person, and all this property of deceased person who are belong to different religion is devolved or is distributed as per their personal law. So in last we can say that legal heirs are the person who having a right or interest in a property of a deceased person who dies without making will of his property. Then third important concept is legal representative. There is a difference between legal heirs and legal representative. Legal representative is a person who stands or acts on behalf of another person. It means that legal representative may be legal heirs or not, but they are the person who are acting on behalf of another person in a legal capacity. So, who stand for another person? As per the Black's Law Dictionary, a legal representative is defined as a one who stands for another person or who acts on behalf of another person as a legal representative who manage all the legal affairs of the deceased person or any person having incapacity to perform these particular functions or act. It means that legal representative may be appointed in a lifetime of any particular person or on the event of a death of any particular person. So, legal representative is a person who acts on behalf of another person or who stands on behalf of another person because the incapacity of that particular person by reason of a death or some other reason. So, in Marathi, we can say that legal representative is a person, is a कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधी. कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधी म्हणजे अशी व्यक्ती आहे की जी दुसऱ्या व्यक्तीच्या वतीने कार्य करणार आहे किंवा दुसऱ्या व्यक्तीच्या वतीने हजर होणार आहे किंवा दुसऱ्या व्यक्तीच्या वतीने कुठलेही कायदेशीर बाजू किंवा कायदेशीर कर्तव्य पार पाडणार आहे. मग हे कायदेशीर कर्तव्य पार पाडत असताना कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधी म्हणून कोणाची नेमणूक होऊ शकते तर कुटुंबातील किंवा कुटुंबाच्या बाहेरील अशा कुठल्याही व्यक्तींची कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधी म्हणून नेमणूक होऊ शकते. कधी कधी कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधीची नेमणूक ही कोर्टाच्या मार्फत देखील केली जाते. काही अपरिहार्य कारणामुळे म्हणजे एखाद्या व्यक्तीचा मृत्यू झाला आहे आणि त्या व्यक्तीची बाजू किंवा त्या व्यक्तीच्या वतीने कर्तव्य करण्यासाठी ज्या व्यक्तींची निवड केली जाते कायदेशीर कामकाजासाठी किंवा त्याच्या वतीने कर्तव्य पार पाडण्यासाठी त्याला कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधी असं म्हटलं जातं. त्यामुळे कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधी म्हणजे अशी कुठलीही व्यक्ती आहे जी दुसऱ्या व्यक्तीच्या वतीने कार्य करणार आहे, दुसऱ्या व्यक्तीच्या वतीने कायदेशीर कर्तव्य करणार आहे तर त्याला कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधी असं म्हटलं जातं. त्याचबरोबर समजा एक उदाहरण आपण घेऊयात की जर समजा एखादी व्यक्ती आहे तिने कोर्टामध्ये एखादा दिवाणी दावा प्रॉपर्टीच्या संदर्भात दाखल केला आहे आणि ती व्यक्ती मयत झालेली आहे. दोन व्यक्तींनी एकत्र मिळून दावा दाखल केलेला आहे थर्ड पर्सनच्या विरोधात. त्यातील एक व्यक्ती मयत झाली तर त्या मयत व्यक्तीच्या जागी एखाद्या व्यक्तीची लीगल रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह म्हणून किंवा कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधी म्हणून नेमणूक केली जाते का तर तो जो दावा आहे तर त्या दाव्यामध्ये जी मयत व्यक्ती आहे तर तिच्या बाजूने तिची बाजू मांडण्यासाठी आणि ती केस किंवा ते प्रकरण पुढे चालवण्यासाठी कायदेशीर प्रतिनिधीची नेमणूक केली जाते. तर अशा पद्धतीने लीगल रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह अशी एक व्यक्ती आहे जी इतर व्यक्तीच्या वतीने कर्तव्य करणार आहे किंवा कार्य करणार आहे आणि ती कायद्याला अनुसरून असं हे कार्य करणार आहे. देन वी विल कम टू अनदर इम्पॉर्टंट कन्सेप्ट. लीगल कन्सेप्ट इज अ wrong. Wrong means any act contrary to the law or any act which is a violation of the law or any act which is contrary to the legal right or a justice. We can simply say that the wrongful act. Wrongful act means improper, unjust act is a wrong. or any act contrary to the law. So wrongful act is an act which law did not permit to do so, and if any person do this wrongful act, there is a provision for the punishment. So there are two kinds of wrong. One is a moral or a natural wrong. It means that if any person does any act which is against the natural justice, which is against the morality, then we can say that he did a moral wrong. But nature or a natural law did not provide any punishment for the moral or a natural wrong. And the second and important type of a wrong is a legal wrong. It means that any act which is contrary to the provision of the law. And if any person violates the law, it means that act contrary to the provision of the law, at that time law definitely provide for the punishment of that particular wrongful act. Then again this legal wrong can be classified into two another types. One is a civil wrong, another is a criminal wrong. We can say civil wrong as a tort. In Marathi we can say as a apakritya. It means that it does not amount to offense or it does not amount to crime, but also it is a wrongful act and to which law provide for the punishment. So tort is one of the important kind of a civil wrong. If civil wrong is committed, then the person who file a civil suit in a court is called as a plaintiff. Plaintiff file a civil suit in a court, and at that time if the plaintiff proves his case, then judge provide for the compensation or give order for the to pay damages to the wrongdoer. So civil wrong is one of the kind of a wrong. Then second important type of a wrong is a criminal wrong. It means that an act which amount to offense or a crime. Then if crime is committed or offense is committed, then the complainant who file a complaint in a court of a law or who file a complaint in a criminal court, then if complainant proves his case or complainant proves his complaint, then at that time magistrate sentence to the wrongdoer or who is the offender the punishment of a rigorous imprisonment or a simple imprisonment. So in the conclusion we can say that wrong is an act, any act which is against the law, which is against the legal right or a justice. So in a Marathi we can say that चूक, अशी कुठलीही चूक किंवा असं कुठलंही वर्तन ज्याच्यामुळे कायद्याचं उल्लंघन होणार आहे, कायदा ज्या वर्तणुकीला मान्यता देत नाही किंवा कायद्याच्या तरतुदीचा भंग करून केलेले कुठलेही कृत्य हे आहे ते चूक आहे. चुकीमध्ये दोन प्रकार आहेत. एक आहे नैसर्गिक चूक, म्हणजे नैसर्गिक न्यायतत्वाच्या विरोधात केलेलं कुठलंही कृत्य आहे तर त्याला नैसर्गिक चूक म्हणतात. नैसर्गिक चुकीसाठी कुठलीही शिक्षा निसर्ग देत नाही, परंतु जर समजा कायदेशीर काही चूक झाली म्हणजेच काय तर कायदेशीर तत्वाच्या विरोधात जर काही वर्तन झालं तर कायदा या ठिकाणी शिक्षेची तरतूद देतो किंवा कायद्यामध्ये शिक्षेची तरतूद असते. तर कायद्यामध्ये देखील दिवाणी स्वरूपाची चूक आणि फौजदारी स्वरूपाची चूक अशा दोन प्रकार आहेत. दिवाणी स्वरूपाच्या चुकीमध्ये जो वादी आहे, जो दिवाणी न्यायालयामध्ये प्रकरण सादर करणार आहे किंवा दिवाणी दावा सादर करणार आहे, त्यांनी जर न्यायालयामध्ये आपला दावातील ज्या गोष्टी आहेत त्या सिद्ध केल्या तर नुकसान भरपाई देण्याची तरतूद या ठिकाणी दिलेली आहे. त्या ठिकाणी त्याचबरोबर जर समजा जे काय आहे ते फौजदारी जर काही चूक केली तर त्या ठिकाणी तक्रार दाखल करणार आहे आणि तक्रार करताना जर आपली केस किंवा जे आपली तक्रार जर सिद्ध केली तर त्या ठिकाणी तुरुंगवास, साधा तुरुंगवास किंवा सश्रम तुरुंगवासाची तरतूद या ठिकाणी केली जाणार आहे. तर या ठिकाणी चूक म्हणजे असं कुठलंही कृत्य जे कायद्याने दिलेल्या तरतुदींच्या विरोधात असणारं कृत्य आहे, जे न्यायाच्या तत्वाच्या विरोधातलं कृत्य असणार आहे किंवा एखाद्याच्या हक्कांचं ज्यावेळी उल्लंघन होणार आहे तर असं कुठलंही कृत्य म्हणजे चूक असं म्हटलं गेलेलं आहे. अँड इन लास्ट वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द टर्म स्टेट. दिस इज ऑल्सो अ व्हेरी कॉमन वर्ड used in our day-to-day life. But now we will learn what is the exact meaning as per the law. So state is a political society. State is a political society or is a political community. State is a political society or a political community having its particular territory. The territory may be small, territory may be big, but territory should be there. So, first of all, state is a political society or a political community. Then this political community or a society having a particular territory. So, as per the Salmon definition, state is an association of human beings. State is an association of a human being established for attainment of a certain ends by a certain means. So, an association of a human beings established for attainment of a certain ends by a certain means. It means that the people gather together for attainment of a certain aims, for fulfillment of a certain needs by certain ends or by using certain methods. So there are 4 essentials which constitute a particular society or a community as a state. First important essential to form a particular society or community as a state is a population. Means people should be there, society members should be there. Population may be small in a numbers or they may be huge or big, but population should be present there. Then another second important essential to form a particular society or a political society as a state is a territory. There should be a particular territory exist. Then third important territory, it may be small or it may be very big. Then third important essential is a sovereignty. Sovereignty means a power to control our own government. So, the sovereignty should be there. It means that the authority or the higher authority having control over the government of that particular territory. And in last, there should be a government, their own independent government. So, population, territory, sovereignty and government are 4 essential characteristics or 4 essential to recognize a particular political society as a state. If these 4 essentials are present there, then particular territory or particular community get the recognition as a state and it gets the importance at a international level also. So in this way, these legal concepts have a particular legal meaning in a law profession.